Kasi Janja Deficit School Teachers Association KJDSTA Dawa ka sarkar jala bakkan pynkiew no ya ka dearness allowance DA jangkinai ka school deficit syaka 100% ka banya hap katkum ka jingsiu ki nong tre sarkar nalor ban plat no ya ki area ya kene ka rai la shim ha ka jingalang jong ka association blalong hamadan malki ha ka singin kong ha ka shiti show mentri rangba ka jala konat ke sangma u president ka KJSTA ba Boswell Espala ura penpau bari ki hajar ngot ki noi kai deficit ki lamar ki jing ek pujur akal yang ka pisa tingka bara ka bor perkhat perdan namar ka jing sakut sa haju ka jing siu jong ka di balong 10% uloong baka seng ka dawajur ya ka sarkar bahkan de bat rai mardor ha ka ban pynkiew ya ka di jong ki noi kai deficit ka ban long kat ju bat ki nong tre sarkar bat ban pelat no yaki area jong ka DE ban pynkiew haki snam baladam kaseng kinoi kai kalai por ya ka sarkar hadu ka khat santrik kalalingkon arjar penriu bahkan pen urlong hiki jing dawa haba bernyam ban pen urlong ya ka jingiki ladakam urlong ka sarkar Meghalaya dangshan kala pen mana ban pynkiew arpasen ka DE syaki nong tre ka bakin tiu ya ka jingsiu syaka 100% ka ban tre kam nadu ka shterek unaitung arja san Henry kinoi kai defsen ki dang yai beteng ban yo tang 10% ka DE ka bala pen bor ya ki ban persha bat dawa ya ka ju ka jingsiu u president ha ka jingkran ha ka jingelang uloong balada ka sarkar kadon pisa pansam kiwei ki jaka bat jela kathan shatai lam mingi kadairu pansiu ya ke DE bat kiwei ya kinuhikai bat ulakan thoru halor ke CM guidebook da ka baong bakade ka cheap marks guidebook
schools will over thousands of students 110 20 30 years or more the government will break a 50-year-old historical promise. We cannot allow this. We will not allow this. And we must not. To the government of Meghalaya, we are not your opponents. We acknowledge the minister for meeting us. We respect the office he holds. Deficit system. We demand nothing special. We only demand what is rightfully ours. My point number 6 is message to the public. This is everyone's fight. Parents, students, citizens of Meghalaya. This movement is not just about teachers. When the deficit system is attacked, your children's future is attacked. When deficit schools are weakened, your communities are weakened. Stand with us, support us, raise your voices with ours, because when teachers fight, they fight for the future. I repeat, because
for too long. This is a clear case of harassment when a routine thing like the enhancement of the A is denied to us. We, my dear teachers, my dear members of KJDSTA, should not be brainwashed in any way, in any case, by anyone, that this is not our right, that this is too much for us, that this can be done only because of charity. No, it is a right. The DA had been given to us, has been given to us, and will be given to us because of some experts having done study that this is the way to sustain teachers. This is the way to sustain education. This is the way to sustain society. I just want to ask the government now, how does it feel to withhold our rights? How does it feel when you get to go to different places to give money, to distribute money? How does it feel to not give us our rights? Give us RDA. You go all over Meghalaya to give money. Give us RDA. You go all over the Northeast to give money. Give us RDA. And let me say one thing to the government, and thank you for our friends who will carry this message to them. You have kept the money meant for RDA for too long. You have got enough interest. You have got enough interest from that. Give it now. Give it now. Surely, the government under the leadership of such an honorable chief minister has become just that. This has become just that. This harassment is sadistic in nature. My dear friends, when we took over as the central body, I in particular as the president, we went through the files and we interacted with the past leaders, and we saw that the leaders had met with the different officials and there was no response, and so we thought we should meet the education minister. At first he seemed very positive, he seemed to be very good, he gave us hope, but then that hope within 1 week was belied. Then we thought we would meet the chief minister who seemingly has time to interact with the public. He has interacted with many members of the public. We thought he would have the time for us. But it has been almost 20 days since we gave the letter seeking appointment with him. There has been no response. No response. Dear Chief Minister, please respond. Respond. This kind of harassment of teachers, this harassing of teachers only means harassment of the students, of the general public, because right to education is right up there. I would say just a little below to the right to life. And I say, please, Chief Minister, please, government, please, officials, do not push us to the streets. Do not continue to push us to the streets, because if you snatch our rights, we will fight back. We will fight back against this harassment till harassment is zero, and stop making teaching profession unattractive by spreading this kind of harassment. People all over the state know that teachers face harassment. People who have the spirit, who have the capacity to be teachers, hesitate to enter teaching profession. Therefore, right now, I appeal to the parents, to the past pupils, to the present pupils, to support us morally, and support us in any way that you see fit to save education in the state of Meghalaya. We will continue to fight for the upliftment of education, the other things. We will continue to fight, because when we look around us, our state of education in the state of Meghalaya is only going down. Look at the syllabus, look at the prescription of books. There are so many weak areas. There are so many weak areas. The government also sees that. And in the name of improving education, it seeks to harass us teachers. It has done something very harmful to us teachers by disturbing us, by not allowing us to focus on the teaching, on education. And right now, my dear teachers, members of KJDSTA, I want you to be aware that we are fighting against something like a beast. The government that has been so adamant, so arrogant, so indifferent. This government that has dared to even disobey court orders. We have seen that happen in the case of the CPF. By the way, regarding the CPF, we intend to have a meeting so that all of us, especially members of KJDSTA, will be clear about the nuances, the details of the game that the government is playing. But right now, with regard to NPS and CPF, I will just say this. First, with regard to NPS, I say, dear government, please implement the NPS straight away. You yourselves have accepted in the court that NPS is underway. Where is it? Where is it? What are you waiting for when everything is ready with regard to NPS? With regard to CPF, among the many things that I would want to say to the government, it is just this right now. Who will do the accounting of the CPF amount that is there in the centralized account? Who will do the accounting? Somebody has to do the accounting. Don't you know, I mean the government, don't they know that keeping money unaccounted is criminal? It is criminal to just keep the money lying down somewhere without doing anything. And the list goes on. The list of the evils that this government is doing, the list of cases of harassment that this government is doing goes on. We have the DCRG, so sad. Just the other week, we met fellow teachers who said that teachers who retired from their schools have not received their DCRG even after 6 years. That is too sad. Teachers who have died have not got their DCRG. The vacant posts, another thing. The vacant posts. Why does the government delay in filling up the vacant deficit posts? The management cannot bear to pay the salary for these temporary teachers, so to say. It is a grave injustice to the students when these posts are not being filled. Another case of harassment is the Maxims portal. The government wanted to implement Maxims portal when it is not yet ready. We have discussed this. We have held meetings with regard to this. I think I will not elaborate on this. The withdrawal of the winter allowance for the month of January and February, in the order we see that winter allowance is not there. It is the case of this government being so insensitive, so adamant, and so arrogant, so confident that it can do anything with the deficit teachers. The irregular pay of salary just these past months, we have experienced this. We urge the government to please pay our salary regularly. The setting of the question papers is another thing. Why does not the government trust us teachers to set the question papers? We know what the students learn. We know how much to demand from the students. They use a beautiful word, attractive word, standardization. But then if standardization has to come from the government, I don't trust it. I don't trust the government with many things. I don't trust the way it runs schools. I think the government itself in the past saw that defect from the side of the government. That is why the past governments supported the deficit teachers, supported the deficit system. Only now, only last year and this year, there is this blatant case, bizarre case of harassment of deficit teachers, the snatching away of the rights of deficit teachers. There is another case, the guidebook, the Miss Guidebook probably, or what we call the CM Guidebook. What is that CM? CM, it looks like cheap marks guidebook, as I've said in the past. So this is a clear deterrent for good students. Good students are deprived. At the back of the guidebook, it is written, if you read this guidebook, you will get what, 60, 70%, I don't remember that number. But if you look at the back of the guidebook, there is something written like that. Who writes something like that in a guidebook? Who writes something like that in a guidebook? It is too shameful. Only shameless people do that. There is this evil symbiosis between the government, the chief minister, the minister, and the officials. We have to be very much aware of this. In fact, this non-enhancement of the DA is because of this evil symbiosis between these two groups. The government, the elected representatives who have been elevated to the rank of chief minister, ministers, and the officials, in particular the IAS officials. When they seek to lower us, the deficit teachers, I may ask them, dear IAS officers, how would you feel if you are lowered down to MCS? This is an analogy, quite an appropriate analogy. And I appeal to the many good officers, MCS, IAS, to please help stand against this. I appeal to other members of society to please be aware of this manipulation that goes on inside the People's Secretariat.